So we're very, very fortunate today to have the opportunity to do an interview with Hitachi ABB Power Grid joint venture today. And so I just wanted to go ahead and get started and ask everyone on the call to introduce themselves. And we'll get to my the questions that I sent to everyone.
Sure. So again, thanks, Jonathan, Wright, for the invitation and allowing us to share a little bit about our business. I'm Yoann Barbosa. I'm the Regional Finance Director for Hitachi ABB Power Grids North America and currently the Interim US Business Representative.
Thank you.
And
Gary,
I'm Tanya Wright.
Sorry. Go ahead, Tanya. I'm sorry.
I'm Tanya Wright. I'm Director of Communications for Power Grids North America. And I'm overseeing the 3 countries in the region, US, Canada, and Mexico, that would include internal and external communications as part of our program.
Thank you.
So I'll jump in. I'm Gary Ratcliffe. I lead market development and innovation for the region for Hitachi ABB Power Grids, and also focus on the utility sector in particular, providing leadership for that part of our market.
Well, thank you everyone for being on the call. I know that everyone's incredibly busy, and it's a very unique time, not just in our country, but everywhere in the world. So I just wanted to go ahead and jump right into it. I wanted to know if you all could tell us a little bit about ABB, first of all, and how it came to be located in North Carolina, and for its North America operations.
Mm-hmm. Sure. So just a little bit of background. So ABB established its presence in the U.S. back in 1989. Mainly with the acquisition of the Westinghouse power transmission and distribution businesses at that time. The ABB Power Grids business joined Centennial Campus in 1991. And we were one of the very first corporate tenants and partners for the campus. And since then, we actually had a very good strategic and long-term relationship with NC State University. On July 1st of this year, as you probably know, we marked the beginning of our new company, which is Hitachi ABB Power Grids. This is a joint venture that was formed between Hitachi and ABB. Hitachi is an 80.1% owner, and ABB is 19.9% of the joint venture. ABB first announced its intent to create this joint venture back in December of 2018. So for us, we were really excited to achieve this milestone that marks the formation of our new business. And of course, our commitment to the university and the local workforce remains the same and will continue. Now, today, the office in Centennial Campus is actually the headquarters also for Hitachi ABB Power Grids North America, as well as our exclusive corporate research center. And in addition to this, we support a lot of the work that NC State does for researchers and students and developers, including the School of Engineering, as Hitachi ABB Power Grids is one of the partners for NC State's Freedom Systems Center. So the announcement, now a little bit of background on the Freedom Center, the announcement of ABB as the initial supporter of the Freedom Center was made back in 2008 at Grid Week, which is a U.S. Department of Energy conference that is held in Washington, D.C., that it's aimed at advancing smart grid initiatives. So that's when we started supporting the Freedom Center. Now today, ourselves with more than about 65 utility companies, other electrical equipment manufacturers, as well as other energy startup companies and other firms, we are now part of this partnership. And of course, we're very excited to be a part of this. The last thing I would say is from Hitachi ABB Power Grids, we are also proud to be one of the pioneers in the world of the power industries. We have been a part of very significant projects in North America and multiple efforts to modernize the US electrical grid. So some examples specific to Centennial Campus are the Grid Center that it's on Centennial Campus. And we are also building a new customer experience center in our office in Centennial Campus, which we expect to complete later this fall. And of course, this year also marks the 30 years of the beginning of the relationship between ABB, now Hitachi ABB Power Grids, and NC State, which again, we are very proud to be a part of and continue to look forward to the ongoing partnership with NC State.
Thank you very much. I'm sure that I speak for NC State University when I say that we're incredibly thrilled to continue this partnership. So we've seen a great deal of press, especially in the last year or so, regarding this new joint venture between ABB and Hitachi, and the subsequent creation of the Hitachi ABB Power Grids unit. So can I ask a little bit about how that joint venture came to be?
Yes, absolutely. So Hitachi and ABB Power Grids have actually enjoyed a long relationship as technology partners for quite some time, certainly before the announcement of this joint venture. As an example, back in 2015, the two companies actually established a joint venture for pursuing HVDC business opportunities in Japan. This certainly opened up new doors and possibilities for us. And of course, recognizing that we have some shared challenges that are facing customers and society, as well as additional value that can be delivered by bringing two world-class energy solutions and best-in-class companies together. That is one of the compelling reasons for us to create the joint venture. So our relationship with Hitachi goes back not just to this joint venture, but it goes back in time. Both companies also have very strong open digital platforms, and we believe that the opportunities also from a market perspective are also very complementary in terms of the two portfolios. The joint venture is headquartered in Switzerland, and it has a very strong footprint from a global perspective. We have about 36,000 employees worldwide in about 90 countries. And the leadership of Hitachi ABB Power Grids will continue to be based in Zurich, including our CEO and our executive team are based out of Zurich. And the company remains certainly committed to Switzerland, where it has its original roots. Our ABB headquarters are also in Switzerland. And we also have other key locations in addition to Switzerland, which are Sweden, Germany, China, and of course the US, where we have a lot of our regional headquarters. And in the US, specifically, just to give you a sense of footprint, in the US, Hitachi ABB Power Grids employs about 3,600 employees. And we have our regional headquarters in Raleigh, North Carolina, as I mentioned before. And we are now part of the Hitachi energy sector from a Hitachi perspective. So again, we're really excited about this joint venture. It's a great opportunity for the company, and we really look forward to our future together as part of now the Hitachi group.
Thank you very much. That's a really good explanation about the joint venture. So you had touched a little bit about this expansion of the footprint on Centennial Campus, and and you also talked about this ongoing partnership and the Freedom Center, and are there any other? What was really the main purpose of this expansion looking into the future, right? I would think that the expansion is probably, and I'm just pontificating here, but that, this is going to be a really great opportunity going into the future, for a great place to work, especially for our students getting internships and looking for job opportunities, So is there any more information that you could give about, first of all, the main purpose of the expansion itself on Centennial Campus, and leading into those kind of opportunities for our students and also for the labor force here in North Carolina?
Yoann, did you want me to jump in on this one?
Yes, Gary, please go ahead.
Sure. So as Yoann has mentioned, we have a long legacy on the campus. So in terms of the consolidation that we have with the Power Grids operations, we're consolidating the North American leadership and operations for the business on the Centennial Campus here in Raleigh. And that means not only the resources that we previously had on the campus, but we're also bringing in additional staff to support the operations of the company, including expansion of some of the finance, HR, and other business resources that we need to have basically the standalone company that we have now established here on the campus. I think this strengthens our long-term legacy that we've had on the campus since we moved into the building, what is now the Polton Innovation Center. When we moved into that building, it was actually built specifically for, at that time it was ABB, but we located our corporate research center there. It was the second building on the Centennial Campus after the Textile Center, which was across the street. So over the years, we've seen a lot of development on the Centennial Campus. Clearly, particularly with the engineering campus now being built there, and the new library, and all the additional infrastructure. But over the years, as Joanne mentioned, we've done work with the Freedom Center as ABB. Prior to the joint venture, and then also we worked with the engineering college, basically the electric and computer science department, working with establishing a professorship and also grants, and working with scholarships and work study jobs for students. So now as Power Grids, we're continuing to work with summer internship programs, rotating assignments within Power Grids, and also we're hiring and recruiting students from the university. So now as Hitachi ABB, we're starting to ramp up our own relationship with the campus. And we expect to continue that as we go forward in the future. Again, we're expanding our footprint and our employees. We have engineering, we have a corporate research center on the campus, and we expect to see continued growth with that. We're a little bit vacant in the building right now because of COVID-19, but next year we expect to get everybody back onto the campus and reestablish our normal working patterns.
Thank you very much, Gary, for that. I appreciate it. And I know that during these challenging times, we really do appreciate your commitment, to NC State. We have a lot of students right now, and during these uncertain times, that are, confident in their abilities and their education, and they're looking for places, to work and expand their experience and advance their careers. So it's really wonderful to hear about those opportunities.
Yeah, I mean, we really have the two flagship programs, the early career programs that we support. And as I mentioned, that summer internship program, and also the early career engineering rotational program. And we like to bring in students and provide them, with meaningful experience when they first join the company, but also give them exposure through typically 3 work assignments where they work with different parts of our company, both on the campus, but also at some of our other locations, to get a view of the company, develop their own skill set, and then at the end of the program, take a permanent assignment. And we view that as a strategic talent pipeline for our company, and NC State is certainly part of that.
Thank you very much. And that you bring up a very good point, and I really try to talk about this as much as I can with our students at NC State, which is, don't look at internships just for the internship itself or fulfilling a requirement in a course. Look at it as a place and time to grow your skill set and to position yourself for that company where you're doing your internship. The onboarding process is much shorter, usually for people who have participated in an internship for a company, and the company knows that. So that's really good. Thank you, Gary.
Yeah, so we now have about 450 employees for Hitachi ABB Power Grids in the Raleigh area. And again, these include jobs created in Raleigh to support the joint venture, as I mentioned. We currently actually had a total of 150 open positions. So, we're certainly recruiting. And, these are jobs that span finance, marketing, human resources, research and development, and also our engineering and operation groups.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. So, and I wanted to talk a little bit about, the current situation with the pandemic. It's a very challenging hurdle for a lot of businesses, right? And really every sector is being hit at one degree or another. And, one of the quotes that I'm hearing a lot these days is often attributed to Albert Einstein, right? In the midst of every crisis lies great opportunity, right? And we don't want to make light of the current situation. There are a lot of people facing incredible challenges in businesses, but, families, individuals. But so, in a high level way, how is Hitachi ABB Power Grids approaching this challenge? How has, this joint venture pivoted, right, to meet this challenge? And I mean, it's of course, it's an ongoing situation with a lot of uncertainty, but I just wanted to hear a little bit about how Hitachi ABB Power Grids is approaching this current challenging time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Jonathan, I can take this.
Tanya will take that one. Yeah, go ahead.
With regards to addressing COVID-19 pandemic, when it started, we as an organization joined the forces, and we defined our priorities as protecting people, ensuring business continuity, and preparing for the new norm. And specifically in the US, we have implemented a number of safety measures and precautions to protect our employees as our number one priority. And as you may know, because we are supporting the critical electrical infrastructure in the US, our main purpose is to make sure that our customers have the continuous power to support their operations, as defined by US Department of Homeland Security. So throughout this pandemic, our offices and manufacturing facilities were open, but all the office employees were allowed to work from home, and we're still working from home. And that has not stopped us to maintain our operations and really continue in the business continuity. In the factories, we have implemented a series of measures, including mandated temperature screening for all personnel entering our sites, restricting access to external visitors, shifting our customer interactions to all virtual meetings, requiring all personnel to telecommute where possible, instructing our people experiencing any illness or flu-like symptoms to stay at home, suspending all large group meetings to less than 10 people, and a number of many other measures that we put in place and allowed us to maintain and keep our operations open. And as Albert Einstein stated, that there is a great opportunity in the midst of crisis, and what we defined as an opportunity is to really leverage our digital capabilities, not only support our employees, but also leverage virtual technology to support our customer needs. And we have implemented various methods, such as virtual testing, where customers were allowed or given the opportunity to see the equipment and test it virtually with our employees being on site, as well as any even more frequent conversations now, because travel was not required, so you could engage with customers a lot more frequently without those restrictions on time and just time required for travel. And in general, certainly we will be a different organization, and with now the pandemic is still not over. We are reevaluating our strategy going forward, where maybe some office spaces will be reconfigured, or we'll have a reduced capacity for employees. But the number one goal and priority for us will remain the safety of our employees. And we're developing the program that will be different. Once offices reopen, there will be some changes certainly in the offices and just the way we work and operate.
Thank you, Tanya. I mean, you touch on a very important point. Well, first of all, I'm really happy to hear that as you stated, that the priority, is protecting your people, right? Then business continuity, and then adapting to this new normal. And I think that's a very clear way of stating the priorities of this joint venture, which is very well articulated, and I'm very happy to hear that that's the priority. And then you also talked a little bit about the way that we're all working right now, most of us remotely, has changed a lot of minds about the effectiveness of working remotely. I know, coming from my background working at a very traditional company in Japan, working remotely at the time, a few years ago, was seen very differently than it is now, not just out of necessity in the current situation, but moving forward past the pandemic. We're seeing a lot of companies saying, well, this might be at least worth looking into in terms of, moving forward and people doing more remote work. I know of course, it's very uncertain about what's going to be happening with the pandemic, but has there been any talk about maybe a more permanent change in the format from which people can work for Hitachi ABB Power Grid? I mean, from home or in the office, has there been any conversations along those lines?
So I can take that one, Jonathan. So I think definitely, I mean, the situation is very fluid, right? And we continue to evaluate and assess. I think, as we mentioned, right, I mean, the priority certainly, as you clearly stated, is protecting our people, ensuring business continuity, and preparing for the new norm. We also have, outside of Centennial Campus, we have production facilities. And as Tanya mentioned, those have remained fully operational with a lot of the safety protocols. Those are, because we're critical infrastructure, we do need the factories to continue to operate, and that's work that has to be done on site. And then as far as the rest of the offices, we just continue to assess the situation. I think it's too early for us to say at this time. We're still basically in the midst of it, trying to understand what the future will hold, but we will continue to assess the situation and make sure that the decisions that we make are to first and foremost protect our employees.
Thank you. Yes, and fair enough. Yeah, this is a very fluid situation right now.
And I'd add one thing to that, Jonathan. We're certainly being very flexible in terms of how we approach work with COVID-19 to accommodate some of the constraints. For example, we're now doing talent recruitment, which involves other universities and, of course, NC State University, where we're holding virtual career fairs. I attend virtual conferences. I think one of the things we've learned is we have some flexibility by using the technology. We still can continue the collaboration. We still get our work done. It's a little bit different in the factories because there we have to make sure that we're following all the local guidelines and making sure that we're maintaining compliant operations. But we're flexible now with our customers in terms of doing factory acceptance tests, where we can now do some of that work virtually, which helps our customers as well as us. So we're leveraging the technology, which is in some regards, I think, in giving us more flexibility. So as Joanne said, we'll be looking at all of these things, hopefully post COVID-19, to be more efficient, more flexible, and helping our customers in the same way.
Thank you very much for that. I thank you, all of you, for your time and for talking more about this joint venture and your operations. And I just wanted to wrap up and ask, if our students, people who have experience in your area of operations, or people who are looking for careers, what is the best way to look for more information about this joint venture and for working at Hitachi ABB Power Grids?
Tanya, do you want to answer that one?
Yes. So because we're in a digital world, most of our communications and now operations are going digital. So my best advice would be follow us on social media channels and visit our website for frequent updates. And and we have some customer newsletters that people can subscribe to. So I will be happy to share the link how to subscribe. So yeah, would be happy to get more followers on our channels and stay engaged.
So,
And the Japan Center will definitely follow you. I promise.
I do want to add one other thing that I think is relevant because it shows some of our commitment to the NC State University. We actually built our Smart Grid Center of Excellence on the NC State University, I think it was about 7 years ago. We just recently closed that facility because we were consolidating into the new building, the Alliance One building, but we shortly will be reopening a digital customer experience center in that building. And not only do we use that for our customers, but we also use that for meetings and sharing technology with students and the faculty on the campus. So it's a demonstration center of all of our technologies, and it's a way that we provide outreach. Again, it was built for our customers, but we provide outreach to the local community, including the students in the university. And that's a facility that we think will help, with education of students, showing what the technologies are that are in our market sector, and it's a big investment for us. That will be opening later this year. And we have some constraints because of COVID-19, but as we go into next year, we really want to leverage that facility. Again, both locally, supporting the university and the local community, but also with our customers.
Thank you very much. That's very good information for us to have. And again, on behalf of NC State University, thank you so much for your investment in us. And we really do hope to continue this partnership for many, 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 many years to come. So with that, I think I can go ahead and wrap up for today. But I really want to thank all of you for taking the time to allow me to interview you. And please do stay extra safe during these challenging times. And thank you very much.
Thank you, Jonathan. Thank you for inviting us. It's been a pleasure, and stay safe as well.